In the 3 or 4 years that I've been in the t-shirt business, these are probably some of the more important things that I've learned, whether it be trying to start your own brand or making custom t-shirts for others. These are the top 3 lessons that I've learned in the t-shirt and crafting business. What's up everybody, Mario here with Nego Prints. Today I just want to share with you guys some information that I think is extremely useful, especially if you're just starting out. If you've been in the t-shirt game for a while, you probably already know these things, but sometimes use a refresher. With that being said, if you like to learn from other people's mistakes and minimize your own, make sure you click that subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on any future tips and tricks or tutorials. While you're there, make sure to click that like button as well if you find the information in this video useful. Alright, let's get started. When I first started Nego Prints, I was looking pretty much for just the best way of printing. Very quickly, I realized that there isn't really a best way to do pretty much anything. What there is a best way for you to do it. Not everything works for everyone. What works for me might not work at all for you. I might have a business doing cups and t-shirts while you might have a business doing just t-shirts. While I might be doing cups and t-shirts, the best way for me to start would be probably sublimation. Then I would have the versatility of doing a little bit of a lot of things. Let's say cups, mugs, t-shirts, and a few other products if I decided to add them. When it comes to t-shirts, I would be limited to light garments and polyester. But that's okay because for what I'm needing, I'm not focusing on just t-shirts. I'm focusing on t-shirts, cups, and a few other things. So while yeah, it would be nice to have a huge option of t-shirts that I'd be able to use, it's not fully needed, especially not at the beginning, unless those are your goals. If those are your goals, then you know that's what you need. But for the most part, if you're just dipping your toes in the water, if you're just starting out and you're looking to grow from a solid base, in my opinion, something like sublimation would be the route to go for that. Now, if your business is just t-shirts, then sublimation might not be your best option, because then you're going to be limited to light colored t-shirts and polyester for the most part. In that instance, you would probably go with whatever is budget friendly for what you're trying to do. If you're just starting out, you might want to use heat transfer vinyl. Heat transfer vinyl is amazing and it's super versatile. That in combination with some inkjet transfer paper is a way to pretty much just start out and get ahead. While in my opinion, inkjet transfer paper is not necessarily the best for t-shirts, you know, because eventually it's going to crack, it's going to fade. It's still a really good way to get started and make some money. From there, you just save up a little bit and you invest on better equipment. Now, if you have a little bit more money to get started, you can look into white toner printers, maybe some DTF printers, DTG printing, but that's all really based around your budget and your needs. So in my opinion, there really isn't a best way to get started. It's just a best way for you to get started. That's what matters. It's what's best for you. Now, at the same time, while there's no best way to get started, there's also what's the best equipment. Again, that's dependent on you. Do you need a 16 by 24 heat press? Do you need something that big? Can you get away with a 15 by 15? Do you need a wide format sublimation printer? Now, when it comes to equipment, it's really the same thing. It's not what's the best equipment, it's what's the best equipment for your current needs. If I have my sublimation business for shirts and tumblers, I'm probably not going to be needing a wide format sublimation printer. That's assuming we're not doing all over t-shirts, because in that case you probably will. But you might also need a smaller format printer for your smaller projects like your tumblers. Again, depends on your current needs. So assuming that I'm not doing the all over t-shirts, I'm not going to need a wide format printer. I'm going to be okay using something like a Sawgrass SG-1000. Or even then, you'll be okay using a converted Epson. If I'm just starting out making t-shirts, I want to do maybe a couple birthday shirts, a few of my own designs. But I'm just dipping my toes and I really don't know what I'm going to be doing it for, how long I'm going to be doing it for, if I'm going to take it seriously. While something like a DTG printer would be absolutely amazing, it's most likely not needed at those beginning stages because you don't even know if you want to pursue it. You don't know if you want to keep going and keep adding to it. You know, you don't know if you want to take it seriously. At the beginning, those were really some things that I learned through experience and trial and error. But then there's also one other thing that I was super stubborn on up until maybe a year ago. And that was transfers. Now, I'm not trying to sell you any transfers. I'm not going to mention any transfers. I'm just going based off of a personal experience, trying to show you guys how stubborn I was. So I got really stubborn because I decided the methods that I have for printing are the only methods that I'm going to be using. If I do something like transfers, I'm going to be losing out on a lot of money, which to be fair, in part was true. I was looking at submitting small orders, so the price for transfers were pretty expensive. So for a good 2 years, I just thought, I'm never going to use transfers because it's really just a waste of money. While yeah, it might be a little bit quicker, I'd rather make the extra bucks. But then I started getting a few orders that needed transfers. I needed full quarter transfers, so I decided I'm going to give it a shot. After sitting down and doing the math, I was kind of disappointed in the profit I was going to be getting. But I decided, you know, this is the only way for me to do this job. I don't want to miss out on it. I'm just going to do it. So I ordered the transfers, I received them, I got to pressing, I did everything, and I turned in the job. I loved them. I was super happy, the customer was super happy, and my eyes were opened. while yeah, I did leave a little bit of money on the table, it compensated itself in a way where I didn't do as much work. You know, I just received the transfers, I pressed them, and I got them out, versus doing something like heat transfer vinyl, and that made me realize how quick transfers can actually be pressed. So from then on, I decided to start incorporating transfers into some of my orders. More often than not, for the bigger orders, anything usually maybe 20 or more, because that's when the price was reasonable. But then slowly but surely, I got stuck and stubborn again with transfers. I got really stubborn with the fact that I'm only using these people and that's it. I started hearing about a couple more companies. I was very hesitant on trying, but then I realized, you know what? I'm stuck in the same little bubble. Let me branch out. Let me try something new. Let me see if maybe this is better. Maybe this is better for certain situations. I found out that certain companies were better in certain printing styles than others were. Some were more affordable, some were better quality. And that's when I really started to learn that there are a ton of different ways to do one thing. It's really up to you to do the research on all your different options and find out what's your best option. And that's when I really found out that there are so many different ways to do one thing that the possibilities are endless. Yeah, some might be more expensive, some might be better, some might be worse. And then that all kind of just trickles down to me being stubborn to begin with, to not even wanting to try transfers, to finding out there's a whole world of transfers that can work for pretty much anything. Remember, that doesn't just apply to my situation. A lot of people could be stuck in their own way of doing things, that they think that that is the best way of doing it and everybody else's idea is wrong. Don't knock it till you try it, right? Don't knock screen printing till you try it. Don't knock vinyl till you try it. Don't knock DTG or DTF till you try it. Trust me, I'm part of a lot of Facebook groups in all the different aspects of printing, including screen printing. And let me tell you, screen printers really don't like people that use vinyl. Now, obviously that doesn't include everybody, but I'm in a particular Facebook group where they really don't like people that use vinyl. But it is what it is. Honestly, it doesn't bother me. You know, again, it's really what works for you. They're not the ones that are making my money. I'm the one that's making my money. You're the one that's making your money. So while I always recommend products and methods that I personally try and like, I strongly encourage you to go out there and find your own way of doing things, find out what works best for you. Take my tips, take my suggestions, tweak them in your own way. So I also want to make clear that a lot of times you see me work with different brands. A lot of times different brands that do the same thing. And that's because I firmly believe in what I'm telling you right now. Not everything works for everybody. I like to give everyone different options to have and try. But again, what works for me might not always work for you. Huge thank you to everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button. It truly does help small channels like mine grow. And while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. Thank you again for being here, and catch you guys next time. Peace.